Hello! Last of our bonus videos with Beedle the Bard, and that is Babbity-Rabbity and her Cackling Stump. In which we are back to nobody dies! Yay! One of my favorite in this book, and I think it's simply because we have a woman here using more her logic alongside her magic than just relying purely on her magic to just handle things. And again, it's not even fully like getting everything she desires. Each of her decisions are very connected to everything else. She's not like the charlatan who just wants all the golden rubies and to make a fool of the king. She doesn't even want to make a fool of the king. She opens up the opportunity for this charlatan to get out of it some way. And she opens up the opportunity to actually fix this, let's hunt down all the wizards and witches and kill them all. And not even just the wizards and witches, but prevent the killing of people that don't deserve it because people are just like, witch! To just get them to go away. Because she does not hide the fact from the charlatan that she's a witch. Like, very directly, she draws attention to herself and lets him sort of come over and see her for what she is. And it is this sort of moment of recognition of, you have claimed to be what I am. And now you can see what I truly am. Again, it's not like she's acting in a really big, fantastic manner. She's the laundry woman who is doing the king's laundry and making sure the sheets are the proper, nice, uniformed color and are soft and are clean. She's using her magic in service to another. And continues to use her magic, in fact, in service to the good of everybody as a whole. I mean, sure, she gets the statue erected, but the statue really is key for reminding the king of his promise and the charlatan of his mistakes, and the recognition that it is okay to be who you are and not either take everything over or destroy everything with you. She really does sort of open the dialogue on this, even though we're seeing for the most part that she does not do a lot of speaking until the end, nor do we have the speaking in these moments sort of... It's not her as a human that is doing some of these key moments of speaking. It is her as a rabbit, and apparently as a stump, but it's her as a rabbit under the stump, where she is in control of this dialogue and subverts everybody's expectations in, like, really key ways, except in those moments where even she has to recognize it, and she doesn't get upset. In fact, the moment where she knows she can't bring the dog back from the dead, she smiles because it's this recognition of, now we have all hit a limit that we cannot go past, even together. She really is the person who is in control both subtly and very directly towards the end. The charlatan might think he's in control, the king might think he's in control, the witch hunters might think they're in control, but she allows herself to be seen, but never in a way she does not wish to be seen. She allows herself to be seen by the charlatan, she allows herself to be seen by the king and the witch hunters, as she escapes in the first place. She allows herself to be seen by the witch hunting dogs in the way she wants to be seen. as a witch, as a witch, as a tree. And all of these are key moments of turning people around who are willing to do damage to her but do not want that damage returned unto them. It is this moment of, you have now cut me in half, but you can't kill a wizard or witch this way. Try it on the grand sorcerer you have there, and the charlatan will admit what he did wrong. You have used an axe on me, and now whenever you harm somebody else, it will feel as though I'm using an axe on you, and the king admits to his wrongs. It is these moments where she is not causing direct harm to anybody, but she is directing the conversation so that we do achieve a point where people will admit what they have done in order to avoid the fate they have bestowed on other people. And this is a really smart way of doing it, because Babbity-Rabbity makes them realize that they have been mistaken without actually harming them. And she continues to remind them of that mistake using this statue built on the stump. Like, it's a really cool way of doing this, because we've had people who have had to be sort of hounded to achieve what they should be aiming for, or people walking in the direction that they want to aim for. We've hounded the young wizard in the hopping pot. We've hounded Sir Luckless in the Fountain of Good Fortune. I mean, we drove the warlock crazy. And here Babbity-Rabbity is showing us that we don't have to go to these extremes to achieve a positive result. That we can use our wit, and we can control the conversation, and we can control how people see us in such a way that we can make the world a better place without denying our position in it, without denying the position of other people in it, by letting people recognize who we are, and in return reflecting back who they are on them. It's a really key story that is just jam-packed with Babbity mirroring all these other characters back on them, and showing them what they could achieve, and what they have achieved, and if those things aren't positive, the pain that they could suffer because they are implementing pain on others. Babbity-Rabbity is very intelligent and fuzzy, and I want to cuddle her. On to Albus Dumbledore's notes. Okay, interesting set of notes here. The majority, of course, of these notes is talking about how this is the most realistic out of Beedle's tales, because the majority of the magic we are seeing is canon. It is things that can actually or cannot occur. For example, bringing things back from the dead cannot occur. Changing into an animal can occur in rare cases. The one thing that Beedle doesn't quite get is the fact that Babbity wouldn't be able to talk as a rabbit, but we'll give it to him as poetic license. The transformation of a tree of some sort, the causing of pain, which is specified to be the Cruciatus curse here, which is a little bit frightening, because again, we do recognize now that the Cruciatus curse is considered unforgivable, but Dumbledore does specify that that wasn't until after the Beedle the Bard would have written these things. But we do sort of get the case that what we're seeing here is legitimate, and we get some connections to possible historical figures that are canon. This witch that apparently did turn herself into a rabbit and escape, and then crossed a river in a cauldron with a sail and then became a king's. History. But what's particularly interesting about this is, while we are getting sort of, this is how things work magic-wise, we also get this isn't how it works for Muggles. Muggles can't learn magic. If we have Muggle-borns, Dumbledore is saying here that there is likely a connection to a wizarding family within their family tree, whether or not that is a full-blooded wizard, another half-blood, a squib who's married in and the magic has come back around. We're not seeing a spontaneous creation of magic here. It is something that you are born with. You can't create a wizard. You have to birth one. Which speaks to me of then that Babbity-Rabbity is about accepting and pushing limits. That is to say that we are accepting the limits of magic as what they are. We can't bring something back from the dead. But we are also pushing the limits of something that Muggles would consider normal. The development of oneself into an animal, which isn't something actually the Muggles get to see. But the apparent turning into a tree and that tree talking. We are sort of having this push and pull of both sides about what they can do and what they can't do. For example, with the Muggles, the acceptance is that you're not going to be able to learn these things. But if you're willing to explore the possibility of letting witches and wizards work with you, you can achieve things that way. It's a question of doing what you can and knowing and letting go of what you can't. And that is always going to be a key thing. And the fact that, again, Dumbledore is sort of walking us through the steps of how this magic is legitimate to point out, both within a story and within our own lives, what we can and cannot do, and where we should really push ourselves anyways. And I really appreciate that. Okay, so that is our final Beedle the Bard bonus video. I hope you've appreciated these past 2 weeks of some children's stories before we get into what is touted as a children's series, and then we're gonna start killing off a lot of people. Not like George R.R. Martin killing off a lot of people, but we're gonna kill off more people than someone like Tolkien. Yay. I'll see you next week. Well, next week. Next time.